Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Leading Change. My name is Emma, and I've got Pascal with me today, and we're going to be talking all about his new book. And one of my favorite subjects is how to kind of stand out in the world of AI. But before I get to all the questions that I have for you, Pascal, can you give everybody an introduction?
Yes. Thanks, Emma. Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share about myself, my passion, my book. Quick background, I'm coming from 20 plus years of consulting experience implementing artificial intelligence projects for companies around the world, as I was an executive for McKinsey and for EY. I lived in many countries around the world, lived and worked for those companies in many countries around the world, out of which, of course, Paris, where I'm coming from, Shanghai, China for 5 years, Singapore for 6 years, San Francisco for 3 years, and I just moved recently to Miami.
You were telling me this when we were preparing. I didn't realize you had made the move to Miami, but also I feel like you might have lived in more places than most people get the opportunity to travel to. So it's nice to be able to tap into all of that experience and those diverse perspectives from around the world.
I'm bringing my kids and family around with me.
Yeah.
So that's education as well. I mean, like giving an asset to our kids to live in a world that will be ever changing and more changing, giving them this capability to adapt to new cultures, to changes. This is something that is very close to my heart and wife's heart.
Yeah, that is very cool. I think my kids, when they get old enough to be jealous, might be jealous that all they've seen is the Midwest of the U.S. But so I can see in the background you have the cover of the book that we're going to be talking about, which is called Irreplaceable. And I would love if you could get us started by sharing a little bit about the book and kind of a high-level overview of what people can expect.
Exactly, and maybe to start with, why this book? Why now? And so as I told you, I'm coming from 20 plus years of implementing AI for hundreds of companies around the world. And what I've seen from all those implementations and projects is the only one that succeed at scale, I would say, are the ones that are the closest to people. So basically the ones that include education, communication, effective change management, basically bringing the people in the center of the transformation. This is the critical success factors. I've never seen a company succeed in the AI transformation without putting the people in the center. I like to say that AI is made by people for people. So if you just remove the people from the equation, it's just a waste. So without human insight and interaction, AI loses its essence and purpose, causing AI initiatives to fail, as I was saying, but also causing people to fear AI. Okay, so this realization has guided my research for the last 20 years, focusing on the intersection between human and AI, where I truly believe the highest value is to be generated for companies, for us as individuals, and for the society as a whole. So the book is really the culmination of this research over the last 20 years. And something else has really sparked the need for this book, especially currently, and especially over the last 2 years, where we've all seen the acceleration of progress, of change, of technological advances. And I think this trend is, of course, set to continue, and set to continue even faster, even further. Now we are talking about exponential, so meaning that the pace that we've seen is only half of what we will see in the future. I like to say, and this is based on research, the number of innovation or the frequency of innovation that we will see in the coming 10 years is the same as the one we've seen over the last century. So we need to be ready for this acceleration. And you are in tech as well, and you see all this coming. You see all this accelerating. As an expert in this field, I'm dedicated to ensuring that no one is left behind in this rapid evolution. And the book is here to offer practical guidance, proven strategies to individuals and to organizations to navigate and succeed in these transformative times.
So can you then give us an insight? Because I got the chance to take a peek into the book. So I know like that there's a lot of really great stuff in the book. But can you take us to kind of the three competencies for the future that you really outline as the base of the book itself?
What are the three competencies of the future? To be irreplaceable. In the book, I reveal the secrets of living and working in harmony with AI while cultivating our uniquely human abilities. And to achieve that, we need to implement the three competencies of the future. Those competencies are, first of all, being change ready, second, being AI ready, and third, being human ready. You can see those competencies like a tree, you know. I would say the roots represent change ready, which is about providing resilience and adaptability in a world that is going at accelerating pace. The trunk of the tree, you can see, is about being AI ready. It is growing as high as our capabilities can be augmented by AI and technology. And at the top, you see the branches. They are the representation of being human ready, with the ultimate form of long-term success and skill adaptability, where we combine our uniquely human abilities with technology. And in the book is very practical, basically. I'm not only explaining this important framework and those different components, the why of those, why they are important, but also how can we as individuals and organizations work, cultivate, build, develop to a whole new level those new competencies so that we succeed in the present and the future. Let's start with change ready. So change ready is, self-understandable. In an age of AI, success isn't determined by strengths or by intelligence, but by our capacity to adapt to change. So things are moving quickly, and as I said before, the pace of innovation now is becoming exponential. And on another side, our capacity to evolve and the capacity of our organizations to evolve is not exponential. We are linear, okay? We can increase day by day. We can add on top of the other day. While exponential would be that one day becomes twice as fast as the day after, and so on and so on and so on. So because exponential is going this way, and we are just linear like this, we in our organizations, the gap between what technology can do and what we can do is increasing as we speak. And the consequences are our mental well-being struggling to adapt to this. I like to mention that the World Health Organization talks about the pandemic of this century being stress. And stress is all about this. We are constantly, our environment is going like this with technology, and we can only go at a steady pace. So this increasing gap is creating worries and fear and stress that is alleviating our performance. So this is true for us as people. It's easy to see it, but this is true also for companies. But first of all, let's talk about being change ready as an individual, and give you just a few an understanding of a few tips that I give in the book to help ourselves be more adaptable and resilient. I explained in the book that I had the extraordinary opportunity to live with the Tuareg in the desert, in the Sahara Desert, for a few weeks, and it was about 20 years ago when I was traveling, backpacking in Africa, and they gave me a lot of tips and actionable strategies to be more resilient and adaptable in the world. Those people, for you to understand, those people are the most resilient people on earth. They master surviving in a heat and in an environment that doesn't have any water for months and months. So they know how to manage themselves as humans in such an environment. And the lessons we can get from that are huge for us in our with an environment that is becoming as difficult as this. So, for example, they trigger change proactively. So basically, the Tuaregs train themselves to change. So they will regularly relocate their camps. Okay, they are nomadic people, and but they don't do it out of necessity. They do it more to train their minds to be more agile and to prevent stagnation. So they view themselves as the architect of their own destiny. So they provoke change. They actively initiate change rather than merely reacting to it, basically. And I remember one of the leaders telling me, when you instigate change, it rewards you in return. So there is another belief behind that you become friend with change in a way. They told me also about breathing. Breathing is something that is very, very important for them, and that I've also researched and learned a lot with other experts on that. And I remember they told me, as breath give voice to a flute, when you play music, it also tunes the most precious instrument that is ourselves, basically. And they explain in the book the detail of how breathing techniques that really helps us to fortify our mental and mindset around those moments of high changes. So what we discussed a lot about being change ready for individuals, but what is it for organizations? For organizations, it's about creating strategies, cultures, structures to thrive in the disruption. And I like to give a few examples. For example, Toyota is my preferred example, because the company deliberately creates internal disruption to keep itself adaptable and innovative. So the approach they have is deeply rooted in the Toyota production system, the one that we used to learn at school. Kaizen and Jidoka, all those systems are here to create internal change, internal disruption before it even happens. Another example that I like is Netflix. Netflix, that was originally a DVD rental service that has adapted to all the technological advancements and currently producing content that they share with people. So that's about being change ready, and I think that's really the roots. That's really where we ensure ourselves and our own organizations in an environment that is moving faster and faster. So being AI ready is being able to leverage AI to its highest extent, while understanding its limits and risks. So I like to say that it's not about being AI savvy, but about being AI wise. Okay. And being AI wise means you leverage AI to the maximum of the capacity, but you're also conscious of the risks and dangers, and you mitigate them. And again, here we are talking about individuals and organizations. So what is there here for us? Recent research shows that individuals who are AI ready command 40% higher salaries. Companies that are AI ready increase their performance by 20 to 60%. So that really shows the importance of developing this competency. Let's start with the AI ready for individuals. So a few tips that I give in the book. First one is about developing an AI mindset. We are now living in a world of abundance, okay? Abundance and not scarcity anymore. So we need to shift a lot of the mindsets that we've had from our education, from what we learned at school, what our parents taught us. For example, efficiency over effort. It's not because you spend a lot of time doing something that this thing is great, okay? And especially with technology and with AI helping you, the less you do, the smarter you are in a way, okay? So it's smart laziness that we can call it. Value over volume, collaboration over control. I mean, we don't want to hide things. We want to share things, a maximum. The more people have information, the more AI has information, the more it's going to be able to help you. So, okay, a lot of those mindsets that are rooted in ourselves really need to be changed. And it's for ourselves, but also how we teach and work with our I was saying kids, but kids, it's true, but teams as well. The second tip I like to give is to strategically leveraging AI in your day-to-day work. To do that, I recommend a very straightforward approach. It's about identifying the different activities that we do on a daily basis. So basically, take the agenda of a schedule of the week, and write down each of the key activities that you perform over the week. And for each of those activities, write down the time they take and the value you get from doing those activities. Just two things. As a rule of thumb, you will identify the activities to be automated as those 20% of activities that consume 80% of your time. Okay, so usually this is data entry, repetitive administrative work, email filtering, these kind of things. Secondly, you will elevate the 20% of tasks that generate 80% of value. Okay, those are the tasks typically strategic planning, creative design, client interaction, these kind of activities where you will use AI to augment yourself, to strengthen your skills to a higher level. And finally, I usually take advantage of doing this kind of analysis to identify activities that we need to eliminate. And very easy to identify them. They are the 20% of work activities that create the least value. So typically non-essential meetings, outdated processes, email chains that are not necessary, these kind of things. So by splitting your work activities into the three buckets, you know how to improve them in time. But I really find that very straightforward and easy to implement for anyone. Maintaining AI literacy is something very important as well. I recommend dedicating at least 15% of our working time to updating our knowledge on new AI technologies or new technologies in general and their potential applications. Okay, so being aware of what's coming new, what is new that can help me in my work, but also what is coming new and can be a threat or can be a risk to my work. So it's really about keeping ourselves updated and really seeing the pros and cons of each of those technologies. So this is roughly being AI ready for people, for individuals. Now let's talk about being AI ready for organizations. For businesses, being AI ready is about being able to implement AI systems at scale, so getting the maximum value from AI, but also making sure that the dangers and the risks are mitigated. And it's very surprising to see that in the corporate world, if you identify well the dangers and mitigate them the right way, people internally, your employees, but also your clients will see it. And that will create trust. And this trust will generate more business for you. It's like, you see, being able to identify not only the pros and the benefits and advantages of building at scale, but also identifying the limits, the risks, and mitigating them and showing that you're taking care about it is becoming an advantage and generates revenue and business, basically.
And then we've got one last category. So we talked about change ready, AI ready. Now it's time to
Exactly.
dive into the third.
Exactly. Let's talk about the human ready competency, which is where we will talk about the Humics. So human ready competency, perhaps it's the most crucial, but also the most counterintuitive of the three competencies. As AI handles more and more of our human capabilities, we are wondering what is left for us. And from my research, success lies in doubling down in our uniquely human traits. While we've all heard about, guys, technology is coming, we need to know how to program, how to code, we need to be deep into technology. We need to be we need to use technology as well and build our social our business models on that. We need to be, for example, social media influencers. You need to surf the wave of technology. Well, I believe that for now, that's still again maybe the case, but in the future, where technology is taking in more and more of our capabilities, what's remaining to us are our uniquely human abilities, and these uniquely human abilities are the ones that help us to be as different as possible from technology, and by there being as complementary as possible from technology. And when we are complementary, we create synergies. It's about really building a synergetic relationship with technology, where 1+1 = 3. So you would tell me, okay, but what are those uniquely human abilities that no technology will ever be able to authentically master? From my research, 3 of them. The first one is genuine creativity. So I'm not saying creativity alone here, but genuine creativity. Genuine creativity emerges from our unique personal experiences and emotional depth. Areas where AI can only recombine ideas and not create new ones. So basically, genuine creativity is about novelty. It's about our capacity, our unique capacity as humans to create something from scratch. Okay, what technology can do is only from the data it has had as a training, so it only combining existing data. The second of the Humics is critical thinking. Critical thinking is about it's beyond AI's data processing capabilities. It involves our judgment as humans, ethical considerations that only humans can provide. I mean, we don't want any machine at any time in the world. We want a machine to tell us what is good, what is bad, what we should do, what we should not. So that's really upon us. That's also critical thinking. It's also about getting the outcome from technology and being able to question it, to criticize it, to get from it what we are looking for, and make sure that it is worth what it is. The third of the Humics is social authenticity. It's based on a simple fact. There is no one else than a human to better understand and relate to another human. We can build deep understanding of other people, compassion, communication, empathy. This is something that AI again can fake, can simulate, but authentically, we are the only one to be able to do that. And there are huge nuances to empathy created by technology from empathy created by people. So the Humics are remarkable for many reasons. First of all, we are all born with our Humics. Genuine creativity, critical thinking, social authenticity, we are all born with that. And second thing, we can develop those Humics to a whole new level. As I said before, those uniquely human abilities are very different from what technology can do. If we combine those, what technology can do with our uniquely human abilities, we create a whole that is bigger than the sum of the components. So we create synergies again here. That's and what is good is we have those humics as we are born, but we can develop them to a whole new level. There is no limit to developing those abilities. And the more we develop them, the more we create synergy, and the more we create synergy with technology, the more we create value. And that's good for ourselves, for our companies, and for the world.
I always talk about this as sharpening our soft skills, but I think that this is probably a better way of using new language to present this to people, because I think we're so rooted in believing that we can't build upon our soft skills that I like having a different term to use to talk through that, to help people understand that why, yes, you might be born with some of these skills, you can also build on them. So I think that's a really nice way of kind of repositioning that in our minds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think, so what is the difference between soft skills and humics? Soft skills are broader in my view. And as you said, soft skills compared to hard skills, it seems like it's not important, while this is the most important. So that I think the renaming is important, but I think soft skills in a way are broader than only those three humics that I mentioned. And in a broad sense, I agree with you that all soft skills become more and more important in a world of technology. But those three ones in particular.
So, Pascal, can you tell everybody where they can get their hands on the book?
You can get your hands on the book everywhere, in any of the bookstores you usually go to, on Amazon as well, on the web, everywhere. It's very easy to find it. You can go on www.irreplaceable.ai, and you'll find everything there. We have also, because of the success of the idea and the needs of such skills and capabilities in the world, we've just created also an academy. We just opened it. It's not really launched yet. We already have 2,000 members. Feel free to join us as well. It's on irreplaceable.ai. So it's an academy where not only you can learn those principles and framework from the book, you can we have live events. You have the capacity to talk with other members, people like-minded, and share your experience, and they will share theirs. And of course, all the news and all you need to know basically to become irreplaceable is there.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me for the conversation. And for anybody that's not, I find it hard to believe that you might not be following Pascal. Make sure you make your way over to his LinkedIn account, give him a follow there, and then, of course, get your hands on the books as well. But have a wonderful day, everybody, and thank you for joining me, Pascal. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Leading Change. If you like what you saw, be sure to come back on a weekly basis and subscribe for more expert interviews focused on digital transformation, change management, and emerging technologies.